Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Fit Fueled Female. Last week, we talked about living in the stuck, and more importantly, how to start moving out of it. And I've been thinking, if getting unstuck is step one, then step two is knowing when to truly let go. Because here's the thing, we can start moving again, we can get that momentum back, but sometimes we're still carrying little pieces of the past with us. And those pieces, they're heavier than we think. We all do it. We all find ourselves thinking about the past, the what ifs, the how comes, the coulda, woulda, shoulda. Even when we've moved on in every big way, there are still these tiny threads that pull us back for just a second. And sometimes the past doesn't even wait for you to go looking, it comes right at you. Case in point, the other day, I get a Facebook friend request from someone I haven't heard from in years, someone from my first marriage era. You know, the dress rehearsal life that taught me a lot, but one I'm glad I didn't buy tickets for the rest of my days. And I just stared at it. I didn't hit confirm, I didn't hit delete. It's still sitting there in purgatory. And I caught myself thinking, should I? Should I open that page again? And here's the truth, it's not because I want to rekindle anything, not at all. My ex husband was such a huge part of my life and honestly, my growth. But there was no humor in that relationship. It was all so serious. And that's a big reason why it didn't work. We weren't right for each other, and we held on to trying to make it right for far longer than we should have. We both had our wrongs. But as years go by, it doesn't matter who wronged who for me. That chapter was a big part of my story, but it's not my story anymore. And exes, they come in all forms. There was the fling, wrong in all the right ways, short, thrilling, a little hush hush, and exactly what I needed at the time. There was the high school sweetheart, that young, passionate love that makes you so happy it feels like your whole world, crushes your heart when it ends, but somehow builds you up for what's to come. That Friday night football game, quarterback and cheerleader kind of nostalgia, the kind you think will last forever until life, college, and growing up have other plans. And then there was Jose. Of course, I dated a Jose from Spain. So typical, right? But honestly, he was one of the loves of my life for that era. We met when I was studying abroad, and I was absolutely convinced we were going to get married. He taught me about passion, independence, and the kind of freedom I didn't even know I was craving at the time. I wanted to give up my whole life and never return home to the US. And while that chapter is firmly closed, the name Jose has now been retired in my house, mostly because my husband will basically never visit Spain thanks to that season, which I find absolutely hilarious because of all of my exes, Jose is the one he latches onto the most. Like, babe, I was in college. He lives in another country. He has a family of his own, and I didn't even know you yet. The man is probably eating tapas and living his best life right now, and I promise you, I am not booking a secret flight to Madrid. And here's the thing, we all crave nostalgia. We all have it. Sometimes it's a great place to visit and sit in for a minute. Other times it's more of an acknowledge, smile, or cry, or say, WTF was I thinking? And letting go isn't just about relationships, it's in our fitness too. I used to cling to certain workouts like they were part of my identity. Back in the day, I could run for miles and feel amazing. Now, let's just say my hips have opinions, my chiropractor is on speed dial, and I schedule recovery days like they're national holidays. And that's been harder than I expected. Not because I can't adapt, but because it means letting go of the version of myself who did those workouts without a second thought. But if you hang on too long to what was, you miss out on what could be. And that applies everywhere. Friendships. Some stay, some go. And letting go of a friendship can feel like a breakup. It's emotional, it's messy, but sometimes it's necessary. Career. I've had seasons I wanted to hold on to forever, but staying too long in comfort is just another version of stuck. And life in general, it's all of the above. People, jobs, habits, routines, they all have their time. And when that time is over, the real growth comes in knowing when to thank them for the role they played and then let them go. And that's why that little Facebook request got under my skin, because it reminded me that letting go isn't a one time thing. It's a skill we have to practice over and over again in every corner of our lives. Which leads me to lesson number one, letting go isn't a one time event. That Facebook request got me thinking. Sometimes we look back because we have regret. We replay moments and think, if I had done this differently, or what if I had chosen that instead? And regret has this sneaky way of making us think the past still has something for us, that maybe we've left something unfinished or undone. But here's the truth, there will always be things in our past we aren't proud of, choices we wish we could redo, words we wish we could take back. And yet, those very moments shape the person we are today. For better or for worse, they moved us in a direction we were meant to go. I don't regret the high school sweetheart, the Jose, the fling, or even the first marriage. Not because they were all perfect, but because they gave me something I needed for that next chapter. Regret will try to convince you that if you could go back, you could rewrite it better. But here's the thing, you didn't know then what you know now. And that's exactly how growth works. When I look at some of my biggest mistakes or hardest seasons, they were the exact things that put me on the path I'm on now. If I spend too much time looking back, wondering if I could have made them prettier or cleaner, I'm missing the whole point. They were part of the assignment. So maybe the question isn't, should I regret this? But what did this teach me? And how can I carry that forward without carrying the baggage? Because you can honor the lesson without dragging the luggage into your next season. Which leads me to lesson number 2. Letting go creates space for what fuels you. Here's the thing, every door you leave cracked open to the past is a little bit of energy you're leaking into the present. It's like having 20 tabs open on your browser. You might not be looking at all of them, but they're slowing you down. And when we don't let go, whether it's a person, a season, or even just an old expectation of ourselves, we're spending fuel on something that's not taking us where we want and where we need to go. In fitness, I've had to let go of the idea that my body should perform the same way it did at 25. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. And instead of seeing that as a failure, I'm learning to see that as an evolution. My workouts are now about longevity, strength, and feeling good, not just chasing a number on a treadmill. And here's the thing, it's not just about letting go of competing with the girl on the treadmill next to you. I mean, sometimes it is, but the harder part is letting go of competing with myself. My personal record today is going to look much different than my PR 10 years ago, and that's okay. I've even started rethinking my whole routine lately. Running has always been my stress relief, but lately, it's also been really hurting my body. So I'm kind of forced to adjust. I'm running slower. Sometimes I'm power walking instead. And now that I'm over 40, weights are my queen. I need to focus there more because strength training is what's going to carry me into my next decades feeling strong, not just fast. How about in motherhood? Letting go isn't just about guilt. It's about letting go of the myth that we have to be superhuman all the time. I am not a coddler. I am not a helicopter mom. I'm a bit of a FAFO mom. My kids know I love them hard, but I'm also going to be hard on them when they need it. I'm not afraid to say, you guys are driving me nuts today and I need some time. And part of letting go is the nostalgia too. We all long for the days when they were tiny, the sweet newborn smell, the baby giggles, the way they needed us for everything. It's so hard to watch them grow and change while holding on to what was. And that little voice inside whispering, did I do enough? But every stage is precious. Being present for the now matters more than clinging to the past. Because yes, we make mistakes, but they can be rectified. If we hold on too tightly to regrets, we lose out on the joy of parenting right in front of us. And here's the thing, I want my kids to see the world as it is, not a sugar coated version. This week, my husband was traveling and I was in full solo mom mode. Mornings, school drop off, birthday parties, school pickup, work, all of it. But here's what I swear kids do when they sense you're solo and just a little bit down. It's like they know. They smell the weakness and they don't rally to support you. They pounce. Case in point, this week I had to keep my daughter home for her physical because the school basically told me if you don't get it done today, don't even send her back. Mom of the Year award, right? I've had to reschedule so many times due to my travel schedule. So I had to fit it in, and I'm already juggling work. I have a call with my boss, and my daughter decides it's the perfect moment to whip out her voice changer machine and make herself as loud as humanly possible. Then my son gets home a few hours later, and now I've got both of them making forts, making the loudest noise possible, acting as if they're in a band during every single call I had for the rest of the day. Talk about attention-seeking chaos. By 5 p.m., I was this close to hiding in my closet and just staying there until bedtime. And in marriage, letting go often means releasing old expectations of myself and of my partner. We've both changed since the day we said I do. If I tried to hold on to the version of us from year one, we'd miss out on who we were becoming together. And here's the truth. My husband is truly my best friend and the absolute best thing that ever happened to me. He loves me for me, all my quirks, my baggage, my good days, and my bad. We are very different versions of ourselves than when we were when we first met, but that original connection will always be the foundation we build on. Our love, our respect, and our commitment have only grown stronger with every season we've lived through together. And one of the biggest reasons for that, transparency. We don't keep secrets, not ever. We know everything there is to know about each other, past, present, all of it, because it's important to us that we keep our circle of trust intact. And that trust stays intact even when it's not something the other person necessarily wants to hear, because we are always honest and always loving in how we share it, most of the time. But he's amazing, and I love experiencing everything with him, the highs, the milestones, the adventures, even the hard times. Because letting go in marriage isn't about letting go of each other. It's about letting go of the old scripts so you can keep writing the story together. And how about in life? It's everything. Letting go of friendships that no longer align, letting go of jobs or roles that kept me comfortable but no longer challenge me, letting go of routines that don't serve the season I'm in. Because here's the truth, letting go isn't about loss, it's about choosing what gets my focus, my joy, and my energy. And every time I release something that's not right for me anymore, I create more space for what is. Which leads me to my power move. This week, I want you to pick one thing you're still holding on to that's taking up space, mentally, emotionally, or even physically, and just let it go. It doesn't have to be big or dramatic. Maybe it's a Facebook friend request still sitting there in purgatory, like me. Maybe it's that social media follow that drains you every time you see their posts. Maybe it's a piece of clothing you've been keeping because it used to fit the old you. The point is, identify it. Thank it for whatever role it played in your life and release it. Shut the door, hit delete, take it to Goodwill, whatever your version looks like. And here's the magic. Notice how much lighter you feel once it's gone. Because when you let go of what no longer serves you, you create more space for what fuels you. So that leads me to my What's Been Fueling Me Lately section. Okay. So, in the spirit of letting go, what's fueling me lately is Rent the Runway. And listen, this isn't a new fling. I've been an OG member for over 10 years. So, this is a tried and true relationship. Because sometimes letting go isn't about deep emotional closure. Sometimes it's about finally admitting that half your closet is full of things you haven't worn in years, but you're still holding on just in case. Rent the Runway has basically given me permission to let go of the guilt, clean out the clutter, and swap it for whatever's trending right now without actually committing to another permanent hanger filler. One week, I'm in a gorgeous designer dress. The next week, it's a killer blazer. And the week after that, it's back in the mail, making space for something new. It's like dating for your wardrobe. You get the thrill, you get the fun, and then you send it back before it starts taking up emotional closet space. Honestly, highly recommended. So that's where I'm at this week. Letting go in the big ways, the small ways, and all the in between ways. Because it's not a one time decision, it's a skill we practice over and over. And when we do, we make room for the things and the people that actually fuel us. For me right now, that means embracing where my body is today, surviving motherhood one chaotic week at a time, loving my marriage for exactly what it is and who we are now. And yes, even swapping out my closet with a little help from my longtime love, Rent the Runway. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a friend who might need a little nudge to let go of something that's been weighing them down. And as always, thank you so much for being here, for listening, and for doing the work alongside me. Here's to letting go of what's not serving you and making space for what fuels you. As always, stay fit, stay fueled, and I'll see you next week.